guys, welcome back to another video. It is June 16 today, and today we are making dry hay. I just finished raking my first field, but I noticed that this 2350, the windrows are so big and it doesn't have enough ground clearance. It's probably 2 or 3 feet under the tractor, probably 2.5. But the windrows like to wrap around the drive shaft, so I'm gonna pull all that out. We'll keep going. If it happens again, I'll grab a different tractor that's a little higher up. So that is what we're up to now. I am just gonna go ahead and switch tractors right now to see what ended up happening. I dropped it. So this is some hay. You can see how it got hot and it was actually a little bit on fire in there. So we're gonna leave this wheelbarrow outside in this tractor. We'll hose down a little bit. We'll leave it outside as well and grab a different one to rake hay with, because the windrows are so tall that they don't feed under the tractor properly, which is a good problem to have. Alright, I have been working away at the second field here. I got the headlands done on the first pass, and then the second pass I was just bumping in rows, but Mom is taking over now so that I can start round baling. So I'm gonna get a quick bite to eat of lunch and then I will start round baling. Alright, after some trouble, just figuring things out, no breakdowns, I got field number 1 done. 23 bales. The next one is probably gonna have way more. Well, I know it'll have more. I don't know how many, 80 maybe. Pick up the little bits here or there that we missed with the harvester. Take you guys along for some of the bale making here. So the 2 bars tell me if I'm making an even bale or not. If one side, 1 bar is down, I gotta drive back and forth to try and get the bale level. You can see that bale's a nice bale versus that bale's lopsided, which means I got more feed on one side than on the other. Sometimes it's easier than others depending on how well the rows were raked. You can see these 2 are a little trickier to get a good bale out of, but I have been learning how to make do. And it beeps to tell you you're close to full, and it tells you to stop. It will wrap. And then you can open the door. I already learned. It's more so an accident than anything, but that you cannot open the door before you have made a bale. Alright, so the end of the last clip there, you would have seen I had an error pop up on the screen. That was that the net knife is no longer retracting. So I've been down for around half an hour, but I got it fixed, or Dad and I did. So I came home because I couldn't see with my eyes while sitting in the seat pushing the button what was wrong. I had the GoPro set up recording it, and you could see the little bit of slippage in that spring there, but it was just not enough for me to fully be sure. So came home, second set of eyes went a long way. So now we are going to get rolling again. We have made 45 bales in that field and 23 in the other. So that is an even 68 bales that we've made. I have had 2 broken ones, but one of them I opened the door before the bale was wrapped, and the other one I did not have the net wrap fed properly. But other than that, it's been going all right. So let's hope that I can just go ahead and finish that field before having to come home again for anything. It's currently around 7 o'clock, so if it takes me too long, I'll have to get it again tomorrow morning if the dew gets on it. But the hay is pretty dry, so I'm hoping to be able just to push through and power through. But that is the nice thing about having all of our fields so close to home, is that when something breaks down, I am only like 4 minutes away. There's our corn crop, or one of the 3 of our corn fields. It has really been awfully cool this year in southern Ontario. We've not had the heat units yet to make it grow. Generally we get our nice knee-high corn by the 1st of July, but I don't know if we're gonna get that this year. It's a little tougher, but we will see. Alright, we are back, plugging away at making round bales. It's been going good now. The first bale that came out was a little bit funny. There's a small one, so when I set the baler off, there's a little bit of hay in the chamber. So there's a small one that got a little bit of net wrap on it. And then there was a big one, so that caused a little bit of a jam, but nothing broke. So we were able just to keep on rolling. But I've been learning a lot about round balers. You can read stuff on the internet about how a piece of equipment works to understand the logic behind one, but I don't think you really understand it till you run it. At least I didn't. So it's kind of one of the nice things about having all kinds of different equipment. Between the harvester, we have a small square baler, now the round baler. Pretty self-sufficient for hay. Shouldn't have to get any custom work done other than wrapping. This stuff will not have to be wrapped as it is dry hay. I'm definitely not the best at making even bales yet. If you look around the field, there are quite a few that are lopsided. There's some that are alright, but there's some that are in need of some improvement, but that is fine. So hopefully tonight I'll get the drone out. It has been sitting in the cab tractor since the start of first cut, fully charged, and I have not flown it once. Really, I should have tried to prioritize that a little bit, but we had enough stuff go wrong here and there, and some days I was pretty wore out. So I did not feel like putting in the extra effort to try and do both at the same time. But round baling continues to go well. then I will give it a try. I haven't changed it, but we're running this baler at, it's another air. We're running this baler at 1,400 pounds of pressure. Well, that is very unfortunate. One of the rolls, the bearings went out on it and it fell out. I had made 67 bales in this field and 23 in the other, so what is that, 90? And now I have to put a roller in it. So I am gonna have to do some research and figure out how exactly everything runs now. I believe these belts sit on the other side of the roller, but I'll have to see. It's a non-greasable bearing, so nothing you can do about it. Well, that's unfortunate, but we'll see what we can do. It is now June 19, so it is a very windy day, so hopefully you guys can hear me all right. But we got the rest of our bales made. So we had a neighbor come out, lives nice and close by, and he finished baling. So these are some of the bales he made. They're probably, well, I know they're a little more solid than mine. See, some of mine are not quite as solid, but he's been at it for a long time. They have over 20,000 bales to their round baler, he said. So he's been making round bales for almost 30 years, if I recall properly. So they know what they're doing a whole lot more than I do. But it's good looking round bales, and he bailed us out, so then I didn't have to worry so much about getting ours up and going again. All the parts for it are in stock, but I would have been under a little bit of a crunch to get everything back together and baled in time before we got rain. So it's just easier to get him to make, I'm guessing, the last 20-30 bales. Alright, so we're stacking all of the bales on skids, and then we will tarp them. We don't really have a good spot for all of our dry hay. We have room for maybe 40 bales inside, 50 bales. So I prefer to put the second cut inside and make probably a 100 bale long pile, 110, 120 bale long pile. I know for sure there's 90 bales, and then I don't know how many the neighbor baled for us, but I never asked yet. So we will make a big pile and then we'll tarp it. So that's what we're doing. what I try and do is I try and put the skids wide enough apart that I can drive in between. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more down now. There's the cat that was sleeping in the pile. You can see our no-till corn. If we walk out here, part of the field was worked. So you can see here's what was worked. And then over here, some of where it's not worked. It's hard to tell. I think the tilled part of the field might be a little higher. Grab something that we can measure with. So you can see the tilled corn, oops, that was not the intent, is about half the height of the knife, or the no-tilled corn rather. Then if we go over here where we've had some tillage, the corn is definitely taller. Now some of it is not as good. That's similar, but that is what we have going on here. We just didn't work the field for the sake of time. But we will see how the year goes on, how it works out. It is now after lunch. The power went out, so we have the 2750 on the generator. It's a little low on fuel, so I'm gonna bring a couple 5-gallon pails over there. It has half a tank, but it's not gonna be enough to run the generator for a couple hours. So if I know it starts full, then we will be fine. Versus if it's half empty, it could run out of fuel and that would be bad. Well, we have a pretty good sized pile now of round bales. I am guessing there's probably another 30 or so to go, but this is where we're gonna stop for the night. So first cut yielded really well. The protein was a little lower this year, if I recall properly. It seems low, so that's unfortunate, but the yield is there. We're getting well over 4 bales an acre, 4.5, almost 5 in some spots. I think the one little section of it dragged the yield down as an average, but we're happy. Lots of feed, lots of dry hay. All right. You can see we have a full load of fertilizer behind us. 4.3 ton. I guess it's not really a full load, but a fuller load. 4.3 ton. I think I'm pretty happy with how that mirror's set. We are gonna spread fertilizer on all our hay ground. I have not finished picking up all the bales yet, but this place closes at 5 and it is the better part of 4:30. I think they close at 5:30 actually, but anyway, I have 9 bales left on the field that I have not hauled yet today. So yeah, that's fine, but I wanted to go ahead and get the fertilizer that we are going to spread on our hay ground. So unfortunately, due to timing, we're now running down the roads during rush hour, but it goes pretty good, going 40k an hour. You can see right now there isn't anybody behind me. It'll slowly catch up, but then I just kind of pull off on the gravel shoulder a little bit. But you can drive a little faster on the road when you're not on the gravel. The road's nice and smooth. And there you go. We're just about home. You can see this alfalfa field here on the corner. It's just too far along to spread fertilizer on. But some of the other stuff will be fine. We'll be able to get that done. This field here, along with the 20-acre field that is in its last year, will be the only two that will not get fertilizer. So my dad is gonna finish stacking the last load of bales. We got a pretty nice sized pile over there. There is, well, there would have been 135 bales between this field and that field we were picking the bales off of. I believe in the pile we ended up with 130. Which is a pretty good number. We'll just have to get them all tarped at some point. have to get enough help for that. Probably just do it mom and dad and me, but then everybody's got to be coordinated to be around at the same time or available at the same time. But anyway, after we get this load of fertilizer spread, we're done until second cut, which is good because I am ready for some time in the shop. We have enough stuff that we have to work on, but it's a good balance. Running equipment's fun, but fixing stuff is also pretty fun too. But I wouldn't do fixing without running. I think it's kind of part of the reward. You work hard. Fixing stuff, and then you get to enjoy it. So 3 fields to spread fertilizer on. This one, the one we picked bales on, and the one beside it. It'll probably only take an hour to do, maybe less.